What happened here?
Nothing to worry about, my good man. What happens on the Hindenburg stays on the Hindenburg.
Are you saying the law doesn't apply here?
We're too high up, my good man. The law has always preferred to look down.
How can you work in a place like this?
You don't want to know where I worked before this, my good man.
You never had problems with the police?
Oh, many a one, my good man. In fact, what I'm cleaning up is today's first problem.
Bravo! I'm sorry. If it wasn't for my habit of checking all possible exits when I walk into the lion's den, I'd be a dead man. You should be rotting in jail.
That's exactly what I've been doing for the last 19 and a half years. You'll be surprised what a little good behavior can do for a person. Yeah, not gonna ask me for my last words this time. I'm a lot closer to death than when I last saw you. As are you.
Not close enough.
Hmm? Close enough for who?
Are you sure we need to choose?
Look, I didn't ask you here to find out who's got the snappiest comebacks. I want to hire you.
What?
I require your services as a detective.
You're so old I don't know if you're senile or if you're joking.
Look, Ness. My granddaughter Sophia has been kidnapped. When what happened to my son, Vittorio, I put her in a boarding school. She was entered under a false surname, Colombo. Nobody knows who she is.
Nobody?
Only Milton, the man who brought you here. I trust him completely. 2 days ago, a guy turned up at the boarding school. He introduced himself as Guido Colombo, the girl's uncle, and her new legal guardian. He said her parents had just died in a tragic automobile accident. He produced all the relevant papers, driver's license, the custody document supposedly made out by the father, the death certificates. He explained away the fact that the girl didn't know him by saying he moved to Seattle before she was born.
Any clues?
Nah. Well, Sophia was wearing a blue dress with flowers that I personally ordered for her from Italy. She was also wearing white ballet shoes with daisies embroidered on them. As for the guy, The school principal said he was tall and slim, in his 50s. No particular accent. Black hair, no beard, no glasses. Well dressed. Could be anyone. But I know he was hired by one of my old associates. Someone wants to finish me once and for all. Maybe they want control of what's left of my organization. Maybe they hate my guts.
And I thought I was the only one who still hated you after 20 years. What else have you got?
I got this. And I got you.
You don't have me. My place is at my diner. And your girl's not there.
Huh. So where should I be looking?
I'm not a cop anymore. Call the station.
The station? Are you serious? The cops are rotten to the core. I should know. I helped make them that way.
So why me?
20 years ago, I pushed you to the edge. I bought your friends and killed the ones who couldn't be bought. I got you so obsessed with me that your wife ended up leaving you. When you had nothing left, you walked into my house, shot my bodyguards, and pointed a gun at me. You could have killed me. But you chose to take it out on this piano. You're the only honest man I know.
I'll do it. Not for you. For her.
I knew I got the right guy.
But I want something in return.
As you can see, I'm not short of money. Ask. I won't haggle.
You leave Santa Esperanza and the country forever.
It's a deal. I always wanted to die in Sicily, but that's the least of my worries. I don't give a damn what happens to me, Ness. You just save Sophia. And you can start by investigating
Carlo Boccherini.
How did you know?
Biggest forger in Santa Esperanza. Wouldn't surprise me if Sophia's so-called uncle's papers were made by him. Besides, he's been cursing your name ever since we put you in jail.
Hey, I treated him like a son.
After you killed his parents.
They were selling booze without my permission. Wait, you know where to find them?
I have a good contact at the station. A girl. Rookie. Straight arrow. Reliable.
A girl? You saying you trust her?
You are such a chauvinist. Do you trust me?
Deal?
Deal.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Keep Milton informed at all times, huh? You hear me?
I know you from somewhere.
You're not gonna ask me for my last words?
You should be running. I'm never going to help you. Why me?
I'm not asking you to help me.
I'm not a cop anymore. I'll do it. Not for you. For her. This town has become a jungle. Where not even the rats are safe. Those who swore to protect us fight to steal the last scraps of dignity we have left. And those who should judge them prefer to squabble over their prey. But it wasn't always like this. The Santa Esperanza I was born in was a clean town. A place where it meant something to be a cop. Until he arrived. my life. Got my feet back on the ground. But now he's back, and he's dragged me in. I'm gonna need help. Ness.
Elliot, I found Carlo Boccarini.
I knew you would, Alice.
Write this down. 31 Wicker Avenue in Lakeview.
Thanks. Nice work.
Elliot, what do you want with him? He's got a hell of a file.
I think he's mixed up in a kidnapping, but my client doesn't want the police involved.
What are you getting yourself into? Who's your client?
Alice, I don't have much time. I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks. Tomorrow's going to be a long, long day. "31 Wicker Avenue. This is it."
You sure?
I'm sure.
At last. That stench of stale grease about you reminds me too much of my old job.
You worked as a waiter?
I was a chef. And not in any old kitchen. At the maximum security penitentiary on Gore Island. Can't think of a better way to do time. And how do you think I met Alphonse? Playing golf?
Alphonse?
On the subject of cooking, I know your blueberry pie had an extra something. I still don't know what.
Alphonse?
So what now? You got a plan?
Take a look around, in case there's a rear exit. I'll take the main door.
My pleasure.
The fact that a criminal like him can hang up his shingle in broad daylight says a lot about Santa Esperanza. Someone took out sections of the fence. Odd. Interesting taste. Been centuries since a gardener visited this house. Maybe Boccarini's business isn't going too well. The bell doesn't work. I guess Boccarini doesn't get many visitors. Boccarini? Carlo Boccarini?
Nothing of interest out back. Sorry. You better come see this, Mr. Ness.
What is it?
I don't know how to describe it. Is that our man?
Boccarini.
My God.
We have to find out who did this, and why. Let's go.
You're the detective, Mr. Ness. Besides, Alphonse will want to see this. I'll be right back.
All right. have to establish how Boccherini died. Maybe the body parts can shed some light on the motive. Holy Christ, what the hell are we up against? His eyes were pulled clean out of their sockets. Whoever did this, it wasn't their first time. And if they committed any other murders like this, it's likely that the police found some of the bodies. I must remember to ask Alice. His teeth were all pulled out before he was killed. The buildup of blood inside his mouth speaks for itself. This isn't a cut, it's a tear. His hands were ripped off. Who has that kind of strength? Once he got stuck in there, looks like the bottom of a glass. Pity he won't last till Christmas, because he'd almost pass for a tree. There's no doubt the murderer took his time. Boccherini's teeth were all pulled out. The murderer tore Boccherini's hands off. Hands ripped off, teeth torn out. I guess I'll have to rule out criminal intent or a personal angle. Boccherini's eyes still haven't shown up. What if I look for whatever was used to remove them? What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccherini's back. Boccherini's eyes still haven't shown up. Takes a strong man to tear that out, or several. Jammed shut from the inside. Maybe between the two of us when Milton gets back. Blood and some kind of sticky liquid. Oh, shit. I should have stayed in my diner. Are these teeth from the body? Well, at least I know why his teeth were pulled out, more or less. What is that? Looks like a ritual. What was Boccherini mixed up in? This car looks too classy for a forger like Boccherini. Are there sufficient reasons to believe that when the murderer attacked Boccherini, there was someone else in the house? The first possibility to be ruled out is that the car belonged to Boccherini. Let's take a look in the glove compartment. Bingo. A man's cigarette case. OB, one of the Boccherini clan? Vermont plates. Someone drove a long way. The initials OB on a cigarette case. A car with Vermont plates. 1. It has Vermont plates. 2. It's too luxurious for a criminal of his standing. 3. The initials on the cigarette case don't match his name. The next possibility that needs to be ruled out is that the car was stolen. There should be evidence that there was someone else in the house. A door in the corridor jammed shut. The blood comes from the other side of the corridor and ends next to the body. He was attacked in the other room and dragged to the hall. The evidence suggests that the events began in the lounge. How did Boccherini encounter his murderer? Whatever crushed the table must have been really heavy, or maybe it was thrown extremely hard. A perfectly circular dint, as if someone had tried to hammer in a gigantic bolt, around 4 inches in diameter. Fingernails scratched the wood. Blood ran like water. Did it break during the struggle, or was it already broken? Blood. Blood everywhere. What kind of person takes off a wristwatch without unfastening it? Or fastens the strap again after taking it off? This was opened recently. Smells of whiskey. Glass on the floor indicates the window was broken from outside. There's something under there. How'd it wind up under there? Not one round fired. It must have happened fast. What is it with Italians and olives? They lap those things up like caviar. Like a true bachelor, he should have put these into soak. Hours of scraping to get them clean. Although at this stage, I don't think Boccherini's too worried about that. 4 glasses. 2 of water, 2 of wine. I've always been a whiskey man, but I know a good wine when I see one. Leftover lasagna, and it looks good. Why is it that 2 out of 3 Italian gangsters are great cooks? I'll never understand what the deal is with them in cooking. The plates and the glasses leave no room for doubt. Boccherini had company for dinner. One knife's missing, the biggest one. Shut from the inside. It opens onto the same room as the jammed door in the corridor. A teaspoon stained with blood and some kind of sticky liquid. The mixture of sticky liquid and blood can only mean one thing. The spoon was used to remove Boccherini's eyes. The mutilations and the disappearance of his eyes suggest 2 possible motives. Psychopathy or cultist fanaticism. Which is it? Some kind of symbol drawn in blood. A sick altar of human flesh. Although I don't know the origin of the symbol in the bathroom and the altar of flesh and teeth, I'd say the motive was some kind of occult religion. The big question is, who did it? Dirty plates, glasses, and silverware from a dinner for 2. The dirty dishes and glasses prove that Boccherini ate lasagna with one other person. Was Boccherini's guest still in the house when the murderer showed up? A door in the corridor jammed shut. It opens onto the same room as the locked door in the kitchen. An open bottle of whiskey. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in pieces of glass from the window in the hall found inside the house. A pistol, fully loaded. I'd say Boccherini was drinking in the dining room when his assailant burst in through the window. Boccherini pulled his gun, but the murderer disarmed him before he could shoot. Where did the torture begin? 2 pools of blood, one on either side of the dining room table. A broken table, scratched and covered in blood. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccherini's back. A broken whiskey glass found in the dining room. A blood-stained wristwatch with the glass broken, and the bloodstains show that the murderer began to torture Boccherini on the dining table itself. That was where his hands were torn off. As a result, his wristwatch fell to the ground. How did the body reach its current position? The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass. The lamp, torn off its brackets and blocking Boccherini, already minus hands, was dragged into the hall, where the murderer used the brackets of the lamp to complete his macabre diorama. A broken whiskey glass found in the dining room. A door in the kitchen, locked from the inside. It opens onto the same room. A door in the corridor. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass. Seems clear that Boccherini and his guest were drinking when the murderer took them by surprise. The real question is, what happened to the witness? Did they escape? Did the murderer take them? Or are they still in the house? A door in the kitchen, locked from the inside. A door in the corridor jammed shut. One locked door could be a coincidence, but 2 locked doors which open onto the same room can't be. Either I'm completely wrong, or the witness is in that room. But I need Milton to open one of those doors.